Hello, Lindy, you're on the air.
Good day.
Good day to you.
How's it going?
Couldn't be better, you?
Not bad. Paddy, with regards to Kruger, whatever, and the government, Mr. Kennedy came out there on Friday, whatever, and said that the company was near bankruptcy or bankrupt, whatever.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right. They apparently the Friday deadline is imposed by the bank, not the company.
Okay, yeah. But not by the company.
That's
but
what
whatever. They have to have a contract in place by this Friday.
That's right.
That's the union members.
That's right.
How do you go in, and I've been in on negotiations for union contracts. How do you go in and negotiate a contract with a company that's bankrupt?
It's a fair question, but I mean, they're still in a position, you know as well as I do, that mill is, the company's not in jeopardy of bankruptcy, but that mill is, because they're all separate business interests inside the Kruger conglomerate of companies. So they have lots of opportunity to save that mill if that's what they choose to do, because they have other places, rob Peter to pay Paul kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So they're not dead in the water.
I there this morning that mill is one of in the top 3 producing mills, whatever, in Canada.
Right. Yeah, I read it too.
Top 3 of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And where the government is getting those figures, whatever, that they're saying that the mill is bankrupt. How in the hell are they getting those figures from a private company?
Well, that's actually the company saying it. The company told the government, and the company's willing to stand by it, is my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, because, the fact of the matter is, Lindy, that industry is in tough shape.
According to what I'm reading in the business magazines, that they're saying that down in the States, they have the same thing. They had the same thing. But, according to what they're saying there now, that it started to come back.
Yeah, well, the use of newsprint is down.
I've been here now for 70 years, and I can remember every 4 or 5 years there was always a problem with the paper industry.
Yes, absolutely.
Always, ups and downs, always. So they're having it down.
Yeah, but when they're, suffering it down, what do we do, Lindy? I guess the ultimate question here. Knowing that for sure the government has been involved to the tune of tens of millions, if there's a rebound that can be guaranteed, even in some form guaranteed, then for the government to get involved, maybe it's an investment in the future. Maybe it's an investment in keeping those 400-odd jobs available to the folks and their families in Corner Brook. But if you can't get any assurances from the company so far as their long-term commitment, I think the government's in a tough position on this one, and I think it really boils down to a negotiation between the unions representing the workers and the company directly. I don't know what anyone else can do in this one. Am I missing something in your opinion?
Well, put it this way. They've got the generating plant in Deer Lake.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, if they don't use the power, the excess power, that power goes into the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, if what am I trying to say? How am I trying to put it? The government, or they don't necessarily, or the government don't necessarily have to charge them for that power, or they don't have to pay for that power. They can supply that excess power to the government free of charge, and take it off of what's owed on the bill to Kruger. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, that can come in many forms, can't it? A concession on the cost of power and or the ability to sell back to the grid. It's kind of 6 to 1 half dozen of the other. As long as they get a break on power consumption, then that's all they need.
And they got all their own power.
Yeah.
But
they have their own power.
They got a massive supply of lumber now, timber.
But, Lindy, that power, it's their supply, but that's our water. This is a private company looking for access and privatization of our public water, our ability to generate power. This is where it gets tricky here. This is where we are all not well informed, me included. There's a couple of people who converse with me on Twitter and in the email warning me of how this privatization of water is something that we don't discuss enough. And I think on this front it really is. You know, when we, Star Lake out in Grand Falls, Windsor, that became part of the confrontation with the federal government. You know, we wanted to expropriate that and mistakenly expropriate the mill. We've got to protect our waterways. We cannot let private companies get involved in the ownership of our water and the ability to generate power.
Oh, definitely.
Right, so this is tricky. There's something more to this than we all understand, and I freely admit, include me in that one, because I don't understand it enough to fight the good fight on either side, but I do know that Joe Kruger is not welcome to own any of my public waterways.
No, sir, mine either. He's not going to get it either.
Yeah, no, and he shouldn't, and the government has to stand firm on this. So if he thinks he has us over a barrel, then I think we should prove him sadly mistaken. The company and the union, I hope they can work it out to the point where the mill survives for another day, but we cannot just turn over any of the ownership or oversight of our public waterways. Access to our public water cannot be under the auspices of a private company. Just can't be.
Oh, and he's saying the same thing with the mill.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
With the union and the mill, he's saying the same thing. Either it's my way or the highway.
Well, you know what? Sometimes the highway might be best for all, but let's hope that something plays out this week.
Was there and they left.
Yeah, right. Oh. Yep.
But I mean, they had the place was ravaged anyway because they never did anything with what they left, and they never did anything in the mill. Neither one of it.
Yeah, and so that would have helped, of course.
They were just take, no give.
Yeah, we've got to be very careful with how we deal with this particular one, because this is going to set our course for how we deal with private groups, including the mining groups up in Labrador. You know, we've just got to be far more careful. The no giveaways, we've got to take it seriously. We've got to milk every bit of our resources for every nickel available, no matter what it takes.
Right. Now, Paddy, one more thing.
Quick, Lindy.
One more thing, that's my understanding.
Yep.
That the men down there, especially the ones that with trades and this kind of thing,
yeah,
they can get out of the mill. They're gone.
Yeah,
they're going every day, and they're bringing in the guys that are retired. They're bringing them in to do the repairs, and they're paying them 3 times as much as they're paying the men in the mill.
Yeah,
you know, and they're wondering where the money's going. But they won't give in to the unions. He wants the unions gone. And come in and say, look, now this is what I'm paying you, like it or love it.
Well, you know, if there's a buck to be made in Corner Brook, that's one bit of leverage that the province and the unionized workers have. Kruger is not willing to walk away from a nickel. Look no further. He walks around in fairly shabby clothes for a multimillionaire. Apparently the boardroom up there is tattered with old art and the place is falling apart. If he can make a buck, he will be there. So the flexibility is required, but we can't all of a sudden just kaboom, capitulate to Joe Kruger or anybody else. If there's money to be made, we want some of it.
We had enough of that.
Totally get it. Lindy, I got to go to the break.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Paddy.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.